Hey, welcome to another Sandy Mountain Natural History Center quick trip. We're just north of Socorro at San Lorenzo Canyon. We're coming up here, we're going to go to a good trip. We did a little bit in the vehicle, you'll see that, and we're going to do a little bit of hiking.
So we're seeing a lot of different types of rocks. The primary rock here is sandstone, but this is a cool conglomerate. And when we see a conglomerate rock like this, it's a bunch of little rocks cemented together. But what this tells us is that this was flowing water, and we can see that just with our naked eye. But this flowing water brought rocks down, brought other sediments and all down, cemented them together, and that's how we formed this conglomerate rock, which is just a whole bunch of rocks cemented together.
Somebody's been coming in and feasting on these cactus. So this is a spiny live oak. We don't see these in the mountains as much, but it's called a spiny live oak because of the spines on the ends of the leaves. And when you get into a more desert environment like this, you're going to see more spiny trees, because these trees are fighting for moisture, and the animals want that moisture, so they have defenses like these spines to keep them safe, sort of like a cactus. This plant here is four-winged saltbrush, favored by Native Americans. It can be dried into a flour and made into breads and things like that. There's a hoodoo. People often ask hoodoo to doo-doo, and maybe if we see some doo-doo, we'll talk about who did the doo-doo. But hoodoos are rock formations, oftentimes in sandstone, but what happens is the cap rock is a hard piece of rock, and the rest of the rock erodes around it, and that leaves these spires, or these pinnacles, or as we like to call them, hoodoos. The geology of this place is just incredible. Not just the canyons, but here we have some more hoodoos, and then all the different types of rock. Like this appears to be a sandstone or a mudstone, still sedimentary, but much different than the sandstone we saw earlier and the conglomerate we saw earlier. So the variety of rock, the shapes of the rock, this place is just really fascinating. So supposedly there's a water source around here, and we've just come across some really large cottonwoods. And cottonwoods, their roots are almost always in the water table, so we must be close to that water. So it's always a little bit difficult to tell, especially with the mud, but this track looks very round, and round tracks like this are very often cat. And the size, you can see next to my knife there, the size probably about 4 inches. This could very well be a mountain lion track. This is really good habitat, and especially we're coming up on a water source. So water is always going to attract all kinds of animals. So we got a log here, and you might be thinking, well, so what? It's a log, but you have to consider there are none of these trees. There are no big trees like this around here. So what happened is that log was washed down through this canyon at some point.
Okay, like what Paul said earlier, we saw the mountain lion track. Well, this is great evidence of that mountain lion. What we're seeing is a deer carcass. That mountain lion, when it killed that deer, it went after the good parts, the heart, liver, lungs, maybe even shoot in on the ribs. Couldn't even gone after the femur. We can see the femur has been picked clean. But we're not seeing some other evidence because other scavenger animals have come in and taken them away. Like we can't find the head and part of the ribs over here, but we do see the vertebrae and the legs. Not a lot of nutritional value down here.
So it appears that we've come to the end of the road. Well, we got this nice little waterfall in what appears to be limestone, which would be just yet another different type of rock that we've come across out here. The geology, I wish I was better at geology because the geology out here is incredible how many different things we've seen.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that video as much as we enjoyed making it. This area was not really what we expected. It's not as much hiking as we anticipated, but I'm sure glad Daniel brought his old 4x4 here because it definitely was needed on today's trip. It was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next one.